All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Haikyuu OVA number 4. This is part 2 to the OVAs that we've got before season 4.
Yep.
We are following Nekoma. We were following Fukurodani, but they soldiered on to the Nationals setup there.
And Bokuto worked through his issues.
Yes, he did. With Akashi's help. Mama Akashi watching over this stupid child. Now, as we get into this match with Nekoma, though, things are not looking as good. Nekoma's flow has been disrupted. Lev is a little bit out of sync.
Yep.
And they just might have lost their libero.
Yeah. Who was literally propping up Lev. So, and the rest of them.
Yeah. Well, their strongest defensive player.
Right.
Which is usually the thing that Nekoma's the best at.
Yep.
So how do they adjust?
Oh, boy.
One, is their team also big enough where they have a backup Nishinoya, essentially? Where it's like another first year. That would actually be really cool.
Oh,
this whole thing is just to introduce another character.
They could do that. They could do that.
But either way, seeing someone step in and fulfill that role that number 3 left out there, that would be that'd be a thing. I hope this isn't foreshadowing for another Karasuno injury like with Daichi or
hey, you know what? The thing is, I'm actually excited if they are, because things like this, it adds so much to the tension.
It adds a lot to the tension, that's for sure. But yeah, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, and then come back here for the discussion. All right. Nekoma's going to Nationals.
And Fukurodani. And Itachiyama, apparently.
New team. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't believe they were one of the teams that was from the second season's
I don't think
practice
so.
group. Yeah, I'm 99% sure they're
But they're good. Team. They good.
Well, if they beat Fukurodani, it was set number 3, though. So that means that Fukurodani won a set.
Right.
So that's a thing. Unless it is actually, this is a good point. We'll have to get answers from our people and stuff in the community and stuff. But it might actually be that they cleared them out if it was a 5-set match.
Oh yeah,
that's possible.
It would have been a 5-set match, I think.
Now I don't know if that's the case, but. If we go based on Shiro Torizawa and Karasuno being in the finals of the mirrored kind of setup with where theirs went.
Now maybe they didn't do it at that point because they were both going to nationals anyways, and it's just a question of which order you have or something. Like, who knows, right?
It is probably a seeding-based thing, though. Like maybe the first member of each seed of like each prefecture, they all get a bye or something like that. So it's like hotly contested real estate. But okay. So Nekoma had a lot of focus on Lev getting the learning of what it means to have teamwork, synergy, connections. But also to establish that consistency in your play so that the other team members can properly react to your movements and stuff. And Lev being so chaotic and hard to read, even with his defensive moves there.
Right.
You know, he had to have a wizard libero like Yaku be actually able to cover for him, because that you don't replace a Nishinoya, right? You don't get a second guardian deity like that doesn't happen, and with a safety net like that, it'd be pretty easy to be just like, you're the hand of Midas, like whatever happens, it's fine, you know. So then you don't grow. This happens a lot, I think, with Hinata actually and Karasuno, because Hinata is not tall enough until recent stuff against Shiro Torizawa to even be able to really block too much, being a middle blocker. And so instances probably happened like this where it's probably something that would be only here and there, but where Nishinoya or Daichi needed to cover a lot for the newer middle blockers, even Tsukishima when he wasn't as, gung-ho into it. But we saw actually what happened when Nekoma did line up their blockers in a certain way to channel things to their libero or to a certain defender. They were able to shut down Bokuto, a better spiker than probably the one that they were even facing here, because this was the second string spiker for
this team,
the other team. Yeah, sorry, I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, I mean, look, real. How important are they?
Yeah, exactly.
I will say though, the way they resolved the characters on the other team, No Heavy, I think is what it was. Yeah,
No Heavy. You're right.
Was really cool in that they're. Because they brought up all the stuff of, okay, these are the snake-like people. They're scheme, conniving. They're conniving. They cheat a little bit.
They don't technically cheat because they're not actually doing the ones breaking the rules. They're just making it hard for the refs to make good calls. So it's like,
and I understand that. Like there was someone that used to tell me if you're not cheating, you're not trying hard enough.
Yes.
But the idea that there are all kinds of things that are associated with winning the game, right?
Yep.
So if you're really wanting to do your best, like don't cheat, but think of everything. Get creative. What are things that you can do in order to make sure that you are playing at your best and that the other team isn't able to play at their best?
And their little shit talking from the sidelines, their little compliments they give to each other and all that, that's the game
starts before the game,
Yeah, and that is funny though that when we first were introduced them into the previous OVA, previous OVA, they started it off with immediately trash talking.
Yeah.
But the funny thing was that Kuroo was like, no, we're above that. And then he says are you actually 180 centimeters? Because your hair spikes up so much. And I think I've literally made that joke about many other characters in Haikyuu where their hair is so blonde and it's they're actually a lot shorter than. And Kuroo immediately goes, huh? Didn't Mika break up with you or something? Are you going to be able to play this game? You're so distraught. It's wow.
Yeah.
Wow, Kuroo. He went for the dig. He's like, oh, you're going to, you're approaching me.
He went so 0 to 60. Guys, we're better than that. I'm going to cut back with the most personal shit I can think of, right? And then the way they resolved that for the other team, with
I really liked that.
And because the whole idea of I saw you when you were really cool. It's okay, sure,
that's one thing.
That's fine. But especially since we don't know her as a character, why should we really care? But the idea that she was I think I understand now,
why you're so passionate
about this club, right?
Yep.
So that gave the you were cool actual meaning because it's I'm starting to understand you better, and then on top of that, it's an offer of I would like to continue to understand you better in this way that I didn't before.
Yep.
Right. Could you teach me? Could you bring me into this space, this thing that's so precious to you?
I want to be part of your world. Now, what I like also about this is something that literally gives me flashbacks to Tsukishima being it's just a club. It's just a club.
Right.
And then we have this character here who is so passionate about volleyball that he takes every chance he can to win. And while I don't usually respect sports players who do this kind of thing, I was going to bring up an instance in Frisbee that is an example of where you can do this, and this is something that is encouraged, actually. And that is what's called essentially like a stutter step of sorts for forward momentum. It's not cheating, it's just technically it's taking advantage of the rules that are being given to you to be able to get extra yards. So an example is that whenever you catch a Frisbee in Ultimate, you are allowed a certain number of steps in order to come to a full stop. But the thing is let's say you're literally just jumping straight up with the slightest bit of forward momentum. You don't actually need many steps in order to stop. You literally just come down to plant 1 foot, 2 foot.
Right.
You're good. But there will be people out there that will be well, it's technically not necessarily against the rules for me to take 4 steps.
Yeah.
So they'll come down and go, do.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Really?
And then the other one that's really that's really tricky is that you'll see people do this where when they're coming up to score on a goal line, they'll stutter step into the goal line and call themselves in. And because Frisbee has that one,
does that actually work?
Oh, that does work sometimes. That's the one that's technically cheating, but it's one where it's it's so quick, and because Frisbee doesn't have dedicated referees except for the professional level. It's requiring the person with best perspective in order to do that.
Right.
And sometimes you'll see the other players kind of mask the best perspective there.
Yeah, yeah.
That happened to me in a game recently. But anyway,
yeah.
With this here, we end up getting a really cool, kind of emotional, satisfying ending that reminds me a little bit of the Josenji match in season 2, where we have the characters that are kind of the uber passionate ones there, and they lose because of their ridiculousness and chaoticness. But that little moment that was with the coach in the past one, but in this case with the ex-girlfriend of the captain here, I think that was really good. That was really good.
And even with their ace, where he's talking about how I don't like the fact that we play this way. Yeah. You know, and he's doing the more traditional thing. His finger got dislocated. He's still pushing through the pain. He's doing all this stuff, you know, and he's thinking, is it enough? And there's this other guy, he might be better than me, but okay. Yeah, it still gets to you when we lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the OVAs, y'all.
Yep.
This is basically the prenup essentially to getting set up for Nekoma and Fukuro Dani, both headed to nationals with another team that's stronger than they are.
Yep.
Which is pretty exciting, because when we go to nationals, one of the things that's going to be fun is that we're going to meet a lot of new teams.
Oh, definitely.
We've never seen before.
Oh, a ton.
And in some ways, we're going to meet so many new teams that they might not actually introduce us to them. We'll just be like, and there goes that team. And there goes that team. And there goes that team.
Yeah.
Who are they?
It'll just be like,
we're never going to meet them because we're not going to play against them.
Right, exactly. You know? All of the teams that go to nationals pretty much are powerhouses, so probably.
I would assume like
there might be a few exceptions, right?
There might be some lucky breaks in there.
Yeah. But so, you're just going to have powerhouses taking each other out left and right. And Karasuno won't know about that. Like, if anything, we could have whole episodes in season 4 where it's the Karasuno teammates watching other teams play. Yeah. And they're just like, oh God, this is where we're at now. This is nationals. Even the teams, like the early on teams, where it's like, no, they don't make the cut. They're amazing.
Yeah. And
oh boy.
And also what's exciting is that we're going to see like prep and training and stuff like with Kageyama before we even get to nationals. So it's gonna be fun, y'all. Haikyuu season 4 is here.
Yep.
And y'all, I'm ready. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Let's do this. So y'all, thank you so much for watching this reaction and discussion. If you want to see more Haikyuu reactions and discussions, make sure to subscribe. We're doing this as a seasonal thing there, so there's no early access on Patreon. But if you want full-length timer reactions on Patreon, go check out the link in the description below for that. And any level of support on Patreon gets you access to our private Discord, where you can chat with us and the community there about Haikyuu. There's a lot of passionate people in there. We all love Haikyuu. It's a really fun time. And you can also talk with us about other anime stories in general, like Jacob's book that he wrote.
That's right. In case you haven't heard, I wrote a sci-fi novel, and it's pretty awesome. It's called Battle Lines, and it's available for purchase on Amazon. The link's in the description down below. It's in both hardback and ebook, so whichever works best for you, go check it out.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.